Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I will explain the use of Quran as the source of Islamic law. We must know that there are two types of sources of Islamic law: primary sources and secondary sources. Primary sources are the sources which are based on divine knowledge, knowledge given by Almighty Allah, or revealed knowledge. Primary sources can be the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, while secondary sources are the sources which are based on human reasoning. Human reasoning can be collective human reasoning like ijma or consensus, or individual human reasoning, which can be ijtihad. It can be divided into different forms, different types, like akal or logical reasoning, like qiyas or analogical reasoning or analogy. But over here, I will explain only the use of Quran as the source of Islamic law. Source can be origin, root, foundation, or base of anything, while law can be rules, regulations, decrees, ordinances, legislations, or Sharia. All these words can be used for law. Islam, as you know, that Islam is the complete code of life. Islam is a comprehensive religion. Islam has given different laws in the Quran, which are absolute categorical decrees from Almighty Allah. Over here, I will explain the use of Quran as the source of Islamic law. We must know that Quran is the primary, original, and fundamental source of Islamic law. There are principal ordinances and injunctions which are given in the Quran as laws which must be applied by a Muslim, which must be applied by in any Muslim society. So that's why Quranic injunctions, ordinances, or laws, they are absolute categorical decrees, because they are nasakh qatai, which are given by Almighty Allah. They are absolute in a sense that they are unchangeable. Categorical because they are very clear. They are proof from clear verses, muhkamat verses of the Quran, and decrees because they are decisions given by Almighty God. So that's why they are unchangeable. Now, here's a question: that why we use Quran as the source of Islamic law? We use Quran as a source of Islamic law because Almighty Allah mentioned in the Quran again and again on different places that it is a source of guidance, and we must judge between people according to the Quran. We must take guidance from the Quran. Like I would like to refer Surah 17, verse number 9. Allah mentioned over there that judge between people by what God has revealed and follow not their vain desires. This verse clearly mentions that when a thing is revealed by Almighty Allah, when a law is revealed by Almighty Allah, then we should not follow our desires. We should not make any law against that. The revealed knowledge, the revealed law, that is fundamental. Furthermore, in one more Quranic verse, Allah mentioned in Surah number 2, verse number 185, that the Holy Quran is a guidance for mankind, the clear proofs of guidance and criterion of right and wrong. So when a criterion of right and wrong is given in the Quran, so we can't make any other criterion of right and wrong. We can't use our reasoning, our logic, or our understanding for making new laws. We have to follow the Quran as a primary source of Islamic law. Furthermore, one more reference can be quoted over here. Surah number 33, verse number 36. Almighty Allah mentioned that it is not fitting for a believer, man or woman, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, to have any opinion about their decision. So we can't make any opinion, we can't make a new law by own opinion, by own reasoning, by our own logic, when a matter has been decided in the Quran. So from Quran it is very clear that we have to follow the laws which are given in the Quran. Now I will give a few examples of the Quranic laws which can be quoted in your answer, like theft. About theft, it is mentioned in the Quran, verse number 38, Surah number 5, that as for thief, male or female, cut off their hands as a penalty for what they have earned, and exemplary punishment from Almighty Allah. So Quran gives a law, a clear law about theft. This law will be applied. This law must be applied in a society, in Islamic society, because it is an injunction given by Almighty Allah. Furthermore, an example of law can be laws about adultery, which are mentioned in the Quran, like in Surah number 17, verse number 32, it is mentioned that do not go near adultery. Surely it is filthiness and evil way. Furthermore, in Surah number 24, verse number 2, Allah mentioned that the woman and man found guilty of adultery, from each of them with 100 stripes. So 100 stripes, that's a punishment given in the Quran. It's a clear punishment. Nobody can change this punishment in Islamic society as a part of Islamic law. Furthermore, about abortion, it is mentioned in Quran that kill not your children in dread of poverty. We provide for both them and you. So it is mentioned that abortion, it is not allowed in Islam because of the fear of poverty. Furthermore, a law about usury or interest, that is mentioned in the Quran. Almighty Allah mentioned in Surah number 2, verse number 275, that those who swallow usury will stand up only like the one whom the devil has left insane by touch. This is because they say trading is also just like usury, whereas Allah has permitted trading and forbidden usury. So interest, that is not allowed in Islam. One more example can be the laws about inheritance. A list is given in the Quran about the shares of the people, share of son, daughter, father, mother. All the shares, they are mentioned in the Quran. So laws about inheritance, they are mentioned in the Quran. Furthermore, you can give the example of lawful and unlawful food, that is mentioned in the Quran on different occasions, like intoxication or gambling, and different foods, they are different animals, they are prohibited in Quran. So laws about lawful and unlawful, that is clearly mentioned in the Quran. Furthermore, laws about divorce, they are mentioned in the Quran, that divorce is twice. It is mentioned in Surah number 2, verse number 2 to 9. Furthermore, laws about intentional murder, they are mentioned in the Quran, that if a person kills a person intentionally, so he will be executed. That law is given in the Quran. Furthermore, death penalty is given for those who are making mischief in the land, fasad fil earth. So these are a few examples of laws which are given in the Quran. So Quran is fundamental source of Islamic law. We cannot make any law against the Quran, and other sources, Sunnah, Ijma, Qiyas, and other sources, they must be in confirmation with the Quran, because Quran is the divine source of Islamic law. So we must follow Quran and Sunnah as primary sources, and we cannot make any law which is against the laws of the Quran.